Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body.
The Saudis poured mountains of cash into Canelo's pocket just to see him fall, while I only got paid to win. That's the difference. I earned my money by keeping my hand raised, not by tarnishing my legacy. They chased dollars, I protected history. Floyd Mayweather said these exact words in a rare interview when pressed about the clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. But behind that statement...
Do you win there, or do you think we've got...
I don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, I'm glad that I'm able to just still be able to entertain for the people, and you still get a chance to see just a glimpse of me.
This came right after Floyd shocked the boxing world by calling out Terence Crawford for a fight in 2026, a challenge that Crawford wasted no time blasting. In a tweet that was quickly deleted, Mayweather flaunted his betting slip before dropping a bombshell. A fight between him and Crawford, a battle of the GOATs. Who says no to me versus Bud in a battle of the GOATs? He teased. But instead of fueling the hype, Crawford's reply carried a sting of rejection, leaving fans wondering if this dream clash would ever leave the shadows of speculation.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd?
I don't know. I thought you'd hesitate maybe even a bit, but no.
Nah, not at all. That's one of my favorite fighters.
Using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his way.
Floyd's frustration with Crawford's dismissive reply is what lit the fuse for his bold claims. In his words, he stands above both Canelo Alvarez and Mike Tyson, because unlike them, he never had to lose for a payday. While Canelo fell to Crawford and Tyson bowed to Jake Paul, Floyd insisted Canelo was capable of far more, that he could have thrown harder, sharper, more relentless punches. But instead, he was paid to look exactly as he did, beaten and broken. The boxing world erupted, shocked that Mayweather would go this far against someone once seen as his ally. After all, Floyd and Crawford were thought to be close, and Floyd even placed his bet against Canelo that night. Yet the whispers from Crawford's camp, that Bud was already the greater fighter, seemed to cut Mayweather deep. And in boxing, comparisons never sleep, but few ignite such heated fire as the one that pits Terence "Bud" Crawford against the undefeated legacy of Floyd Mayweather.
Against that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
That's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
The debate roared back to life after Crawford's breathtaking victory over Canelo Alvarez inside Allegiant Stadium, a win that crowned him the first male fighter in the four-belt era to conquer 3 divisions undisputed. What should have been a night of pure coronation quickly twisted into global controversy when Canelo, bruised but unflinching, dropped a bombshell at the press conference. "I think Crawford is much better than Mayweather." Those words hit harder than any punch that night, igniting a wildfire across the boxing world. And it didn't stop there. Crawford's trainer, Brian "BoMac" McIntyre, poured gasoline on the flames, refusing to let the debate cool.
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. Everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
In a fiery sit-down with Fight Hub TV, McIntyre showed up wearing a cap boldly stamped with the word GOAT, leaving no doubt about where he stands. To him, Crawford isn't just great, he's the greatest of all time. He spoke with conviction, saying Bud's triumphs don't belong to him alone, but to the entire team that has carried him to dominate 3 weight divisions in a way no one else in today's era has matched. And when pressed about Canelo's shocking claim, McIntyre didn't hesitate, his answer sharp and certain. Who, Terence? Of course he is. Of course he's better.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me?
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd?
I don't know. I thought you'd hesitate maybe even a bit, but no.
Nah, not at all.
For BoMac, there's no gray area, no middle ground to even consider. In his eyes, Crawford has already eclipsed everything Mayweather once stood for inside the ropes. And yet, while the world argues in heated tones, Crawford himself remains calm, carrying a quiet respect and a diplomat's composure. After outclassing Alvarez on the scorecards, he refused to fan the flames of history's confrontation. Floyd was the greatest of his era. I'm the greatest of mine. We don't need to compare ourselves. His words carried humility, even reverence for Mayweather, but they couldn't silence the storm outside. Instead, they left fans and experts more eager than ever to debate, dissect, and keep the controversy alive.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
An all-around fighter. That's how many now describe Crawford. After all, Mayweather's triumph came against a young, still-rising Canelo back in 2013, while Crawford dismantled a seasoned, battle-tested version of the Mexican years later, fueling this new narrative with undeniable weight. And then came the unmistakable voice of Stephen A. Smith, adding fire to the debate with his signature passion. In his eyes, Crawford's greatness doesn't rest only on outboxing Canelo, but on the way he embraced the storm, trading punches, absorbing the pressure, and emerging stronger with every round. Yet Smith drew a sharp line between the two icons. Mayweather, he said, was a defensive wizard, a man you could hardly touch.
Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said.
According to the analyst, that's the dividing line. Crawford proved his grit, his ability to bite down and fire back under pressure, while Mayweather carved his legend behind a wall of defense so flawless it seemed untouchable. And now the sport itself stands split. Some convinced Crawford has already stepped beyond Mayweather's shadow, others swearing that Floyd's defensive genius will never be replicated. What no one can deny is that each defined his own era, lifting boxing to new heights with styles worlds apart. The clash of Crawford versus Mayweather isn't fading, it's only beginning. With Canelo's raw confession and BoMac's unwavering words, the fire promises to burn brighter in every headline to come. But one truth is beyond debate. Terence "Bud" Crawford has already sealed his place among the immortals of boxing.
Crawford against Mayweather, right? How do you think a fight between both of them turn out?
If Mayweather gets hit with Crawford like I hit him and rocked, it might not end well for Mayweather. They might be over it. But Mayweather could outbox Crawford, I think, because Crawford has the mindset that I'm trying to knock you out, and Mayweather knows how to play to that I'm trying to knock you out type of thing, because he's used to people coming at him trying to hit him hard all the time.
Shane Mosley once tried with everything he had to take Floyd Mayweather's head off back in 2010, and even through that storm of animosity, he walked away knowing just how extraordinary Floyd truly was. These days, Mayweather crowns himself TBE, the best ever. And while Mosley isn't entirely sold on that title, he admits it's nearly impossible to find another fighter in history who could mirror those skills. Yet Terence Crawford has always hovered on the edge of that conversation. And after his stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez this past weekend, Mosley finally tipped the scales, declaring Crawford not just on Mayweather's level, but a step beyond. "I think Crawford is better," Mosley told Fight Hub TV. "I would say Crawford is the more complete, all-around fighter."
Actually, when I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
I like Crawford's style of fighting, the way he's gonna come after him. Mayweather. Okay, let's do this. Money Mayweather, I think Crawford beats.
Okay. Pretty boy.
Pretty boy, I don't know. I think Pretty Boy, it might be Pretty Boy. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, because he's more aggressive.
Before Crawford walked into Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas with that newfound power packed into his frame, Shane Mosley doubted he could pull it off. After all, Crawford is nearly 3 years older than Alvarez and had spent the last stretch of his career fighting 2, sometimes 3 weight classes below him. But none of that mattered. On fight night, he delivered a close but undeniable decision victory. Just as Mayweather had done 12 years earlier, Crawford tamed Canelo, only this time adding the glory of becoming a 3-division undisputed champion. And now, pundits and fans are lost in dream matchups, asking the question that hangs heavy over the sport: who would win? Mayweather, in his prime, loved to remind the world of his perfect ledger, repeating the mantra, 50 have tried and 50 have failed.
Because Canelo after the fight said that Crawford is way better than Floyd. You know Crawford, you know Canelo, you know Floyd. What do you think? Who would win in a fight?
My man. I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with...
According to Mosley, if Crawford had been the 51st man to share a ring with Mayweather, history would have been rewritten. "Mayweather is really good. You can't take that away from him. But I think Crawford would have had the edge," he explained, pointing to Bud's longer reach and bigger frame. That kind of size, Mosley said, would have made it difficult for Mayweather to counter cleanly. And while Crawford owns slick defensive skills of his own, Mayweather elevated defense into an art form, polishing it into something close to perfection. In the end, it's a matchup that exists only in imagination, but one that fans can't stop dreaming about.
He's a talented fighter, and that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up 2 divisions, hearing that people are saying, "Oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68?" Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. He did what he...
So how would a showdown between Crawford and a prime Mayweather really unfold? And who would walk away the victor? The opening round would be thick with tension, both men circling, studying, searching for cracks. Crawford would likely come out busier, letting his hands go, firing combinations that thud against Mayweather's shoulders and elbows, testing his guard, trying to set a rhythm. But as the fight settled into the middle rounds, the tide would start to shift. Mayweather's rhythm, sharp jabs, pinpoint counters, that slick defensive shell would begin to take shape. He'd bank rounds quietly, frustrating Crawford, turning aggression into missed opportunities. Still, with Crawford's relentless pressure and those punishing whip-like shots, even Mayweather could be rattled, if only in flashes. Round after round, the fight would hang razor close, a chess match wrapped in violence. And while Floyd's pristine defense would shine, Crawford's sheer activity and the sting in his punches might just sway the judges, edging him toward a narrow points victory over Mayweather's masterclass in control. For all the humility Crawford showed after his career-defining triumph over Canelo Alvarez, claiming undisputed glory yet again, the boxing world refuses to let the conversation rest. The debates over his place in history, and whether he has surpassed Mayweather, are only growing louder.
Where does Canelo go from here, Henry?
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight. He would put it on.
In a fight many believed would settle who truly stands as the greatest boxer of the post-Mayweather, post-Pacquiao era, Crawford seemed to deliver the answer. No disrespect to Alexander Usyk or Naoya Inoue. By joining an exclusive club as just the 6th male fighter ever to capture titles in 5 divisions, and the very first in the 4-belt era to reign undisputed in 3 of them, he carved his name into history. And it was this weekend's triumph over Alvarez, the sport's biggest star of the last decade, a man hailed as pound-for-pound king as recently as 2022, that vaulted Crawford not into into a new financial stratosphere, but, far more importantly, into the rare air of boxing immortality.
Work on what you need to work on. Put your head down and grind. You get results like this.
I noticed that when I was watching the fight that Terence Crawford specifically, whichever side that Canelo threw at him, Terence would respond with a shot from that side as well. Did you see that in the tape that you watched of Canelo as a weakness where he was vulnerable?
But when his spotlight shifted to the inevitable question, had he now matched or even surpassed Floyd Mayweather's legacy, Crawford wanted no part of it. Listen, Floyd was the greatest of his era, and I'm the greatest of mine. There's no need to compare, he said firmly at the post-fight press conference, brushing aside the chase for historical validation. Yet barely 15 minutes later, the debate reignited on its own. Canelo Alvarez, gracious in defeat and full of respect for Crawford, was asked the same burning question. Who was truly the better fighter? After all, it was Alvarez, just 23 years old at the time, who had first tasted defeat against Mayweather.
A little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last two did, just run. He threw at.
Crawford deserves every ounce of the credit, because tonight, I gave it everything and still couldn't solve his style. He had it all, Alvarez admitted, before dropping a line that shook the room. I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. Until the real fight happens, this debate remains on. And just as those words spread like wildfire, another twist surfaced. Floyd Mayweather Jr. revealed he'd be stepping into the ring once more, not with Crawford, but in an exhibition against Iron Mike Tyson. Which means that any clash with Crawford, if it ever comes, will have to wait. At least until Floyd settles his business with Tyson.
So good. You can't fight. It's almost impossible to fight him clean. It's almost impossible to win
Canelo,
fight and fight him clean.
When
you can't fight clean with him.
See, Canelo wasn't exactly clean in that fight.
You can't fight this guy clean. That's the credit on how masterful he is. You have to be dirty. You got to be rough. You have to use the elbows, head, business.
Two icons of the sport are set to collide, though not in the way fans might have imagined. Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson will share the ring in an exhibition bout slated for next year, with spring of 2026 being the target. The date and location remain under wraps, but the buzz exploded once TMZ broke the news and outlets like Uncrowned confirmed it. Tyson himself fueled the frenzy, announcing the fight on X and teasing a poster that framed the spectacle as legend versus legend. Officially, it won't touch either man's record, a relief for Mayweather, who still guards his flawless 50-0, but it leaves fans with mixed feelings. Tyson, now 59, last stepped into the ring in 2024, only to fall flat in a lopsided loss to Jake Paul. And before that, his professional story ended back in 2005. An epic pairing on paper, yet one that feels as puzzling as it does historic.
Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are fighting each other. Let me say it again. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are actually fighting each other. Not a drill, not a prank. This is actually happening. TMZ Sports has learned.
And now is the boxing world is crazy. Hold on, I have to see this. Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson agreed to super fight, legend versus legend. You got to be shitting me. Sorry to all the showbiz kids out there. Two of the greatest boxers of
Mayweather, now 48, hasn't fought professionally since 2017, but he's kept the spotlight alive through exhibitions. Most famously his clash with Logan Paul, and more recently, his August showdown with John Gotti III. That fight carried extra tension, coming more than a year after their first meeting was scrapped, when a wild brawl broke out between both camps. But while Floyd gears up for another spectacle, not everyone is applauding. Roy Jones Jr., who has spent months publicly chasing a fight with Mayweather, was stung by the announcement. And instead of hiding it, he's lashed out, using the moment to criticize the Tyson matchup and take fresh jabs at Floyd himself.
I get punched by Mike. And Mike, when he hits you, it feel like a horse kick you. You know, and a horse kick to the head can kill you. And that's how Mike's punches feel. So when Mike hits you, it's like nothing you've ever.
In a fiery interview with a popular YouTube boxing channel, Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back, branding Floyd Mayweather a coward for choosing to face an aging Mike Tyson instead of him. He's just shown himself to the world as a coward, Jones snapped. We saw it in his career when he picked off fighters past their prime, and now he's doing the same thing with exhibitions. He doesn't want the heat from me, because he knows if we ever touch gloves, I'm coming to turn up everything.
If you let him move around and do what he want to do, he's going to beat you, because he's very explosive and he's very mean.
I was going to say he mean too.
To me, people don't give him enough credit. People always say, well, Floyd would beat Sugar. No, baby, Floyd is not as nearly as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think he would have beat him?
How? How you going to keep him off of him? Sugar is a dog. Just because his name Sugar don't mean nothing. Sugar.
The tension between Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather didn't just appear overnight. It traces back to June 17th, when Jones sat down with Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast. There, the former champion lit a spark with a bold claim that Sugar Ray Leonard would have beaten Mayweather if both men had met in their primes. People always say Floyd would have beat Sugar. No, baby. Floyd is not nearly as mean as Sugar was. Sugar is a dog. Just because his name is Sugar doesn't mean anything. He's a dog. People don't give him enough credit for that. Jones insisted. And while he admitted, I like Floyd, Floyd was cool. He made it clear the matchup would have forced Mayweather into deep waters. It's going to be hard for me to see Floyd taking it and beating Sugar. They'd have to do something different, that's for sure.
Entitled to their own opinion. And I'm glad that Roy Jones feels that way about himself. Every fighter that's gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle, they should feel that way. So if he feels that way, you know, more power to him.
Jones didn't stop there. He doubled down, saying that if Floyd adjusted his style, maybe he'd have a chance. But the way he fought most opponents in his prime wouldn't cut it against Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar's got that third element, heart. We think Floyd's got heart, but we don't know because we've never seen him pushed to the edge. With Sugar, we know. He's proven it, Jones concluded. Those words struck a nerve, and Floyd's response spoke louder than any interview. On July 6th, Mayweather took to Instagram, posting clips of Roy Jones Jr. being brutally knocked out in past fights. A not-so-subtle clapback that went viral within hours, setting social media ablaze.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business.
Roy Jones Jr. finally broke his silence after Mayweather's trolling, taking to Instagram on July 9th with a fiery post that read like a public call-out. Public service announcement. What's happening? Fight fans around the world? I know how much y'all enjoy this sport. I know we play games. People got their issues. People got their opinions. And that's cool. I got opinions too, and I'm allowed to speak on them. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Jones declared. Then came the challenge. If you want to prove you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open. Ready to go. Just call me.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like?
You gotta respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could retire at 80-0. You go up atop that? No.
While Roy Jones Jr. waited, expecting Mayweather to fire back, money brushed him off completely, sidestepping the feud and locking in the Tyson exhibition instead. And that's where we leave it for now. For the very best updates on the biggest news, electrifying moments, and all the action inside the world of boxing, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop stories like this one.